thank you for coming, and
Okay.
you may begin.
Hello, my name is Oliver Lee,
And I'm Jackson Reynolds.
and today we're doing our project on,
We're not quite going to tell you yet. We're having you guess later.
just to make it interesting.
Okay.
Okay, now before we start this presentation, I want to make one thing clear. No copyright was intended, no butter was harmed during the making of this project. Thank you. Now let's begin this IB presentation. Life has been close to extinction numerous times. Many have wondered what extinction was the closest to bring life to a dramatic end.
Any one of you want to take a wild guess at which extinction killed the most life? 2 guesses. Guess.
Cretaceous.
Guess.
Cretaceous.
No, guess again.
Jurassic Park. Not Jurassic Park.
The answer and our topic for this presentation is the
Permian period.
Now, before we start, we're going to explain in a model how the environment changing can disrupt the entire food chain and how adaptation might just save your life.
First of all, we need a top predator. In this case, we have the penguins.
And we need prey, in this case, packing peanuts.
Okay, that should be. Well, and now we need a planet. For this presentation, we're going to be using a fishbowl, and for land, we're going to be using the cardboard.
When the creatures are on land, the pennies easily cut through and kill the packing peanuts because they're much harder.
So they're the top predator. But this also could be a handicap. Want to find out? Okay, let's start. One day, a massive earth tremor ripped the ground, and everybody fell into the water. Now the pennies are at a disadvantage because they can't swim, and they are drowned. Yeah. Whoops.
Now that you know what changes in the environment can truly do, let's move on to our PowerPoint.
This IB PowerPoint was made by Oliver Lee and Jackson Reynolds in November 16, 2014. This is a 5th grade IB PowerPoint presentation. You have a pen?
Sorry. I have it. Oh, right here. Sorry, sweetie. It looks different. There you go.
The early Permian was a wonderful sight. Not as lush as the late Permian is going to be, but it wasn't a complete dry land either.
As you can see.
In the early Permian, the Earth's crustal plates had brought most of all the total land together in a giant supercontinent called Pangaea.
The most common animal you could find on Pangaea at this time was called Edaphosaurus. Edaphosaurus had scales on its back, as you can see, and it was a herbivore, but it wasn't the only scale back in town. Another animal called Dimetrodon. Dimetrodon is one of Edaphosaurus' predators and close relatives. Dimetrodon is a fierce predator that does not waste food. In fact, it eats 90% of a carcass. That's more than a lion, if you want to know. But before eating out the intestines, it has to shake out the poop. Dimetrodon hates poop!
In the late Permian, there were lush forests across Pangaea. The climate there was very suitable for life, so it easily thrived. Lystrosaurus here made up more than 50% of all the animals in the late Permian. They're medium-sized and most common prey for predators like Gorgonopsid.
Gorgonopsid is a 5-meter carnivore. It was fierce, but it had one huge handicap. Its jaws had only one muscle attached to it, so it could only bite like this. That forces it to only take one huge bite out of its prey, then leave it alone to rot. There were also smaller animals, such as Diactodon. Diactodon is a 1-meter-long herbivore that is a descendant of Lystrosaurus. Dimetrodon was very adaptable and burrowed underground like meerkats and fed on plant roots and plants. But one day, everything changed. The extinction started in what is now Siberia. A massive earth tremor ripped through the ground, and lava came spewing out.
This lava flowed for thousands of years, and to give you an idea of how far it flowed, in 48 hours it could cover all of New York State.
The volcanoes didn't just burn everything down. They did. But it also released sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide into the air.
Carbon dioxide trapped the heat, while sulfur dioxide prevented sunlight from reaching Earth completely. This made our planet very hot. But that wasn't all. Animals had to face another challenge, breathing.
We all know carbon dioxide makes it hard for us to breathe on land. But did you know in the water, hot water holds less oxygen than cold water? So it was extremely hot back then. So all the ocean animals pretty much suffocated. The drought, this heat also led to sudden droughts and big monsoons.
The plants also had something to worry about. In the atmosphere, sulfur dioxide and water combined to form acid rain. This rain killed tons and tons of plant life, and that made many animals starve to death also. But in all the chaos, one thing manages to thrive. This thing is called bacteria. You can't see it here, but it's there.
Yeah.
Bacteria filled the oceans with toxic gases, and when the wind blew the toxic gases on land, it killed lots more life.
The extinction might have seemed hopeless. We all get that. But it wasn't. As the planet cooled down, little Diactodon managed to survive along with others such as Thrinaxodon, an ancestor of modern mammals such as us, and Proterosuchus, an ancestor of crocodiles.
It may seem weird that Proterosuchus survived because he's quite big, but the big advantage he had is he was cold-blooded. Cold-blooded animals, as you know, feel great in the heat, don't have to eat as much as warm-blooded animals when they're in that condition.
It might be obvious, but Diactodon and Thrinaxodon survived because they're small. They could easily find shelter, and back then, there was just, like, there's rotten meat over here, there's some bugs over here. It was like heaven for them.
Yep. Life after wasn't quite as easy as you may think, however. It took an extremely long time for life to recover its full diversity. But however, when it did, the age of the dinosaurs was just getting started.
Coelophysis was one of the first dinosaurs. It was fast, adaptable, and it was agile. And it gave rise to one of the most famous dinosaurs ever, T-Rex.
And here's
Coelophysis right there. And here's our bibliography. The first one is a book called The Great Extinction by Norman MacLeod.
the second is Triassic Era, Natural History Museum of London. The third is the Permian Period, University of California Museum of Paleontology. Fourth, Resources for Physical and Historical Geology, the Permian Piedmont, Virginia Community College.
And here's our videos. First one is Prehistoric Earth, Before the Dinosaurs. BBC video, and it was made in 2008. And the second one is Animal Armageddon, 5 out of 8, The Great Dying. And here's a revolutionary action plan.
We put up exciting posters across the school.
Exciting. These posters are going to inform the public, or the school public, about the Great Dying. After all, everyone has the right to know about how they barely managed to survive. And Optimus Prime and Grimlock agree with us.
And if you'll be like these speakers, you'll inform the public also.
So that's our presentation.
We hope you enjoyed our presentation and that future generations of teachers teach their students about the Great Dying and how we barely made it onto this earth.
That's all we have.
That was phenomenal. Very, very good. Standing ovation. Very, very good. I can't believe we got to end our day with you guys.
I know, that was
We were kind of
awesome.
like, oh my God, we're sort of tired. There's been so many. Really? One more?
Okay, did y'all watch Go Live the Science Guy?
No.
Oh my God, you're an awesome team. Totally, it's like your comic timing and sense of humor, as well as your rich depth of knowledge about this topic that you have memorized and were communicating so.
Okay, you're going on the road. You
Yeah.
know what that means? You're going to go share this with other
Oh
classes.
my gosh.
As in, you have to share it with kindergarten and first grade boys
Oh
and
my
girls
gosh.
that love dinosaurs.
Oh, Miss Jacobs will
And
pull
this
out
whole
all her
thing,
books to have ready
you
for them when they
have
see
got, and
this.
in fact, it even comes in. Maybe they could come down to the library and just see it, and you just do it for the
Oh
whole
my gosh.
grade level.
I have to
And
get you
just do
guys.
that.
We'll have you do it, and then I'll have all the dinosaur books out, and they'll all get checked out.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Do an IB unit. We're working on their unit for dinosaurs.
Oh, so yes, to have an
Yeah.
audience, you have got to show
Totally.
this to everybody.
Yeah, yeah, all the grades.
You've got
but
to
you're
stay
right.
well, Jackson, so you can't be sick.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we'll wait till January, but you guys will still have it in January, right?
Sure.
Do you have in your heads you could do
We
it?
could do it next
Next
week.
week, next week too, but yeah, awesome. You
You
guys,
guys have been practicing. Your project was done in November. How long have
I
you been
know.
practicing?
Well, we practice about 10 to 12 times a
Oh,
week.
we could see that.
I'm gonna write that down, you guys, because practice 10 to 12 times, that is so, that is
Yeah, you
such
did
a
it.
proof of how well, because, first you practice and you're like, okay, I got it. And then you practice and you're like, wait, I'm going to add this. And then you realize different things you could do. I'm sure that's how it happened for you, right?
Yeah.
So that it's like, and by the time you get to today, you're so ready to do it because you've just got it. Yeah. So
Who
you
came up with the model? Did y'all,
Well,
you're
I can't remember. Yeah.
Joy.
joy
You
together?
knew you wanted to do something, and then
Yeah.
Yeah, for creativity.
Yeah. Well, and I will say your
Well,
PowerPoint.
we didn't quite
Just-
want to do just
just
the PowerPoint.
love it.
We wanted to include this.
Love it.
Something else.
But I want to say that, well, I want to just say, sorry, but your PowerPoint is just the perfect kind of PowerPoint. It was great visuals that supported exactly what you were sharing with us. You referred to them perfectly. I love the way you took turns referring, while the other person was talking. But it was your speaking that was sharing, and that was just your support. So that was creative too.
Did the topic bring you guys together? Are you guys always friends? Or like what?
We've
your
been friends
chemistry
since
together
kindergarten.
is just you can't really force that.
Yeah.
Well, they said the kindergarten they've been friends, so that's good.
So you said, okay, what do we both want to do?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We talked on the phone, and first I wanted to do killer whales, and Jackson was like, maybe we should do dinosaurs, and we settled on the Permian period.
Yeah.
Well, we were the lucky ones
Yes,
to get to see
very,
you guys.
very lucky to see this. So
Yeah.
are you staying the rest of the day, John?